the lowdown, where we talk all things Apple. All right. So I put this in the lowdown. I guess it could have technically also gone into second string, but this is where I put it. Microsoft is rolling out iMessage on Windows 11. So, for those of you who want to use iMessage on your non Mac OS devices, it looks like that support is coming to Windows. It looks like back in February, they started testing this integration of iMessage on Windows. And it looks like they are ready to roll out the feature for everyone that is on Windows 11. So in this particular article from 9 to 5 Mac, they do lay out some of the pros and cons of iMessage on Windows. So again, it uses Bluetooth. iMessage uses Bluetooth to connect to your iPhone. And a Windows PC passes SMS and iMessage. So typically, like I said, for iOS devices, it uses iMessage, but for Windows PC, it looks like it did SMS and iMessages. So here are some limitations when it comes to that syncing. Your full message history won't sync. You'll only see messages that have been sent or received using Phone Link. And I don't think I said what Phone Link is, but that is the latest version.
Phone Link is the app on Windows 11 that
allows you
to send and receive SMS and iMessages via your Windows 11 device or Windows 11 computer. I don't say Windows 11 device. Yeah.
Yep, your computer. Again, so Phone Link is the conduit to getting these messages. So again, your message history your full message history will not show, but only the messages that are sent and received using the app that's on your Windows machine, which is Phone Link. You can't send pictures or videos, and no support for group conversations. And all messages appear in gray.
So basically, this is not iMessage, because the whole point of iMessage is no matter what device I'm using, whether it be an iPhone, whether it be a laptop, or a MacBook, whether it be an iPad, whether it be my Apple Watch, I should be able to send and receive messages and get the updated history. Now, it's not foolproof. Sometimes the messages will come in delayed on one device. Sometimes I'll read a message on my phone and the red message won't quickly show as red if I look at it on my Apple Watch. But still, if I send a message on my MacBook that I received a message from Nica, if I go on my phone, if I go on my watch, if I go on my iPad, that full message history will still be there. I'll be able to see what Nica said 2 weeks ago, a month ago, a year ago, versus the way this Phone Link for Windows 11 is. If me and Nica have a conversation back and forth, maybe 5 or 6 messages deep, and then I go on my phone and try to pick up that conversation, I won't be able to see it. So that's go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for me, seeing the full message history, not seeing that unless you use the app, that to me, it's an inconvenience. That's not really how iMessage works. But, you could probably contend with that. But my thing is, you can't send pictures or videos. It's literally just text.
Right.
And no group
conversations and no blue bubbles, all gray. The last one, even neither here nor there for me. But that first one, to me, that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Because if I'm sitting in front of my computer and I need to reference a message that you sent me 2 weeks ago, and I'm going through my computer and iMessage on my computer, and I cannot find that message, if I forgot that I sent that message to you via Windows 11, I either have to remember that or I just don't get privy to that whole conversation. So,
Right.
you got to keep your wits about you if you're using Windows 11 to send and receive iMessages. You have to remember, all right, these messages, these texts, I don't call them that texts, these messages that I sent you, I have to remember that I sent them
Mm-hmm.
to you via phone link via Windows
Mm-hmm.
11. Because if I forget, I'm going to go on my phone later and be
And
like,
I
I
see
could have swore I sent you that
them.
confirmation. And then I'm out and about, like I'm at a hotel or I'm at an event, and I need to refer back to that confirmation ticket that you sent me. And it dawns on me, oh, I sent it on my Windows 11 machine. What good is that going to do me when I'm standing in line trying to get into this event, trying to recall that confirmation number that I need in order to get into the event, right? I just
Yeah, you
created
just
this
SOL.
scenario, but
Yeah.
right.
You
I
just
just
SOL.
created right. So to me, that first one is a full stop. It's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah, and the fact that they're calling it iMessage when it has none of the hallmarks of iMessage, they should just
Hmm.
call it phone link. Basically
Right.
saying that you could use your iPhone, you could send text messages on your iPhone
On your Windows
through a
11
Windows
machine.
machine.
Right.
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 So they should just call it phone link and
Right.
not iMessage comes to Windows because it's not the hallmarks of iMessage, group messaging, the blue
And there are some
bubbles.
services And there are some services out there that kind of do the same thing that lets you send through a bevy of services. Like I have to go through my mail because they sent me a beta link to actually get in. Because one of the problems that I have, or challenges that I have, is I message a bunch of people all kind of different ways, right? It could be
Mhm.
through IG DMs, through Facebook Messenger, through Twitter DMs, through text message, through iMessage, right? Through WhatsApp. That's 6 things, right? Again, I have to remember, all right, I got to go to WhatsApp because we had that conversation here. We didn't have it in text message. We didn't have it in Twitter DM, that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
I've kind of been looking for a solution that enables you to corral all these services into one, and I'm pretty sure they do a whole lot better than not being able to send pictures and videos, not being able to join group conversations, and being able to see your message history. But I don't know if this will work, but more power to Windows 11 and Microsoft, at least giving people the option for that that collaborative between your phone and your computer. Because there are a lot of people out there who have iPhones because that's just the de facto,
Mhm.
but don't necessarily have a Mac because too expensive, whether it be the only computer that they use is given by their company and the company gave them
Mhm.
a Windows 11 machine, whatever the case may be, just don't have a Mac. So I guess the ability to send and receive text messages and iMessages through your Windows 11, I, I mean, I guess you rather have it in this
And not?
limited capacity than not at all. So I guess.
I guess for our Windows users that use this, is this good for you?
It's
Because
better than nothing, I suppose.
I guess it says that the company it'll take until mid-May, which is only a few weeks away, to show up for everyone globally. So again, it started to roll out, but everybody should have access to it mid-May. And you can download the phone link
Hmm.
app from Microsoft or in the App Store. Another thing, I guess, if you are interested in using this, um, it needs phone link only works with iOS 14 or later, and it is not compatible with iPad. So this is literally just for your phone,
Right.
which I guess that's why I call it phone link.
And since it's unofficial, Apple can still block this because it's unofficial. So keep that in mind as well.
Yep. And you'll need Bluetooth on both devices for this to work. So, um, I'd be interested to see any of our listeners who use iPhones um, as their, mobile device, but use PCs as their, um, whether they use the Surface or any other type of Windows machine. If this I guess, is a value add for you? Because as an Apple user, I would see it as a bit of a hard stretch. But again, we're used to the seamless integration across all devices. So that may have our way of thinking on how iMessage works be a little bit different. But since it's, basically new to use with Windows, it may actually be a good thing. But let us know if it
Right.
worked for you. All right. Next up, good old Bloomberg has this article out about the updated health app coming to iPad, and it is possibly going to include an AI powered wellness coaching service. So, as a part of iOS 17, with this, we all know how much we enjoy the Apple Watch with the health features, and also even on the phone, the health app is very helpful. I was talking to a friend this weekend about it. She didn't realize all of the benefits that comes with the health app. Her dad is older and sick and going through health challenges, and so she didn't realize all of the benefits that were built into the iPhone as it relates to health. Well, it looks like Apple is working on improving that, and adding new features to the existing health app for, quote, tracking emotion and managing vision conditions. That is going to come this year. I'm wondering if we'll see this at WWDC. Only time will tell for that. And going, looking a little bit further down the road, the plan apparently is the expansion of the health app to include ways to manage emotion. So I'm thinking like therapy adjacent type technology. And that kind of makes sense because if you use the walking app or the mindfulness app, you can do meditations and things. They have like people talking and varied tones. You can do the breathing and different types of audio meditations. So I guess to me, it makes sense that this is kind of where this is going. Of course, people have concerns, which are valid. And I hope that, Apple addresses this once we get the official word that this is actually coming down as how you're going to manage housing, mental health type data for individuals, and how the AI is going to adapt and work to, I guess, improve an individual's mental health as it relates to this app.
Well, I mean, if anything, this gives a indication on how Apple is going to implement AI into its products. Of course, they're
Mhm.
already kind of using AI with Siri, with some other things, but this whole explosion of OpenAI and Chat GPT and prompts and all these things of that nature. Looks like Apple, with its health coaching service, is looking to, add some artificial intelligence. So, you know, everybody's talking about, oh, this is the future, AI, things of that nature, and how they're going to use it for search and writing book reports and organizing tasks or whatever you want to use this new AI for. I just thought it was cool that Apple was saying, all right, well, Tim Cook has said in the past, they are super focused on AI, but we don't have a real actual product that says this is powered by AI from Apple, like we do
Mm-hmm.
with Microsoft, like we do with Google, like we do with OpenAI, right? So it looks like Apple is going to use artificial intelligence for health coaching. So I don't know what that looks like, whether it be you talking to somebody, air quotes, via AI, to answer, basic questions, maybe carry on a very high level conversation. And then if there's more detail involved, then it kind of forwards that to a actual professional. But I thought it's cool that Apple's like, all right, here's how we're going to use AI, which to me, like I said, I've kind of been on the fence
Mm.
about AI and Chat GPT, because I'm kind of like, well, what is the problem, the one problem that makes people say, oh, that makes perfect sense. Now I understand AI. This could very well be that kind of, oh, you use it to talk to somebody, air quotes, talk to somebody, but you're actually talking to AI as far as your health is concerned, because maybe you don't really need to talk to somebody. You just need to tweet through it, as they say. And maybe this AI can kind of help you do that.
Yeah, this article gives a little bit more context. It looks like it's using some fitness data, which makes sense because if your heart rate's going up, that may indicate, you're having a panic attack or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But, those types of metrics that, because it does track your heart rate, your breathing, those types of things. But it also says the initial version of this emotion tracker will let users log their mood and answer questions about their day and compare the results over time. So it's not necessarily training on other people's data. You're giving it the data about, how you feel, and it, ultimately, I'm assuming they'll wrap an algorithm around it. It may, help to, when it's that time of the month, if you have like feelings, it'll be able to carve out the information around maybe you're feeling this way or having these emotions because of that, or maybe it's something else. But I think over time, the goal would probably be to have an algorithm that does actually, use that data that you've entered to try and give you, I guess, themes or things to help, mitigate or manage the different moods you may come in. And, I think that's, Apple is pretty staunch about the way they handle data. So my thing is, if you're comfortable putting other health data into your health app, then you should be safe to put, this mental health data in there as well. And it's one of the things where you can opt into it. There are some things in the health app that I don't fill in because I don't want to, but you can pick and choose what you want to include in the health app. And you can decide if you want, this mood tracker to be one of the things that you use. And as it relates to AI overall, because of the explosion of Chat GPT, everybody just has this narrow view, especially people who aren't really familiar with AI. They see AI, and they think it's only text-based because that's really what everybody is talking about. But there are, I think, there are infinite amounts of use cases to use AI in a myriad of situations in an individual's life or business life or whatever. But I just think because everybody is talking about Chat GPT, the text-based AI is what people just think that it is, but it's not. It covers lots of things. The use cases, as I said, are exponential. And it is great to start to see, other companies using other mechanisms of AI outside of text-based.
Right.
And we'll talk about one of those a little bit later in the show. All right. So I don't know, how long has this been going on? We've talked about it several times. There was a big legal battle between Epic Games, the makers of Fortnite, and Apple. They had this huge lawsuit going back and forth, back and forth. Well, it seems as if this battle may have come to a close. Apple wins the appeal in the App Store legal battle, and Apple is calling it a quote, a resounding victory. So in this ongoing battle, because like I said, we've talked about this, I don't know, maybe it's been a couple of years now, with Apple going back and forth with the nature of the App Store, with Epic Games wanting to have more control over what can be bought and sold and how it's how the App Store functions, with Apple typically taking 30% of the profits from the App Store purchases. Apple is getting their 30%. off rip. So it was a huge back and forth between them. But it looks as if today, meaning this was Monday, the 24th, that the decision down from the courts ruled in Apple's favor. And hopefully this is a close to this. I don't know.
Not really, because Apple is kind of burying the lead. And what I mean by that, there were 10 claims, and
Mm-hmm.
Apple won 9 of the 10 claims.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Apple is saying, resounding victory, blah, blah, blah. The one claim that they lost, that it doesn't appear that Apple is going to file an appeal on that one claim, was that Apple cannot forbid developers from directing users to third-party payment options. So basically what that says, if I'm downloading Fortnite for the first time and I download it for free, and then while I'm in the game, I decide I want to do an in-app purchase, I now, according to this, if I'm reading this correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, I can subscribe via Apple and continue to use my payment setup I've already got set up via my Apple ID, via my
Apple
subscriptions.
subscriptions.
Right. And I can pay for all that stuff that way. Or this now gives Epic the ability to give me the option to click this link to go to a third-party payment route to where I can pay for the in-app purchases, the subscriptions that way. That's the one thing that Apple was trying to fight the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they kind of lost on that one while winning these other ones, I don't even remember what the other 9 were, but to me, that one that they lost seems to be the most important one, because
the big
now,
fish.
Right, Epic can say, all right, click this link if you want to just pay us without going through Apple, which most people, I'm going to go through Apple subscriptions. I already got that stuff set up. But right. If now Epic has the option, people have the option, which is what Epic was fighting. Was their standpoint was Apple iPhone users don't have an option. They have to do it the Apple way. And they didn't think that was fair. Yada, 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 fight. So now they've kind of won that one. So we'll definitely see where this goes, if Apple will appeal. I think that this whole thing was kind of wrapped up in the ability for app developers to side load apps onto their iPhone via going through another option versus the App Store. Because right now, same thing with paying for things with Apple. There's only one way to do it up until now. Well, even still now, the only way to download an app on your iPhone is via the App Store. So,
it's through the App Store.
Yeah, this was kind of like a small thing of a bigger issue. So we'll definitely see where that goes. I think I've read some stories about the ability in the future for iPhones to sideload apps, but there was some other stuff in between. So I had to do some research, but it seems like Apple, now I want to say losing their grip, but the fact that people don't have options, Apple users don't have options, I think that's starting to pick up steam, and Apple's going to have to figure something else out, or else they may be forced to, concede in other areas as well.
Right. Again, this is very complicated. It's a lot that goes into something like this. Particularly, it appears to me from Apple's standpoint, they didn't want to go to a third-party link because they couldn't verify if their users' data would be saved, if they were going to a link that was invalid, which is fair because at the end of the day, if you're on your iPhone, you download an app, you click on the in-app purchase, it takes you somewhere else. Most people aren't going to blame where it's going. They're going to say, well, I clicked on this on my iPhone and my iPhone took me here. They may not necessarily say, I went to this third party and they stole my money. No, I use this app in Apple.
Yep.
And Apple has always said that they protect my data, but now my data isn't protected. So I get I wholeheartedly get where Apple is coming from, that they can't guarantee, your safety of your data
They
outside of
can't.
their confines. And I think
Right.
if anything, if they don't appeal, or if they appeal this one thing that they lost partially out on, I think there's going to be some, are you sure you want to go to this link? If you go, we can't, we can't,
Protect you.
verify that your data is safe.
Right.
You're leaving outside of Apple. We have no liability if your data gets stolen or whatever the case may be. This ain't on us.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, you still got to give people the option.
Yeah.
And as much as they are right, Apple trying to use that as a scare tactic to scare people into continuing to use the Apple so they can get more money.
Right.
It's kind of, it's not, it's not disingenuous is not the right word,
Right.
but we get it. You do want to make sure Apple, the experience stays the experience that you want people to see.
Mhm.
But if people want to choose otherwise, you got to be like, all right, and let them do it.
And that's pretty much what the court said. They're saying that App Store protects users' privacy and data while still giving users the freedom to choose a platform. So you can either stay over here with us, where it's cozy and safe, or you can go out in the Wild Wild West and take your chances over there. But again, like you said, giving people that option. Before, I think, particularly when Apple first became Apple, meaning in the mobile phone game, there wasn't a lot of competition. There wasn't a lot of ways that you could purchase things. Pretty much everybody felt safe in the bubble in Apple. But of course, as time has changed, technology has grown, there's a world of options out there to purchase things. And again, with Apple taking their cut, people like, how can I not give Apple all this money? Even though I'm making money hand over fist, I still want as much of it as possible. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from this one thing. I think they're pretty satisfied with the 9 out of the 10. They want the 10 out of 10. I know Tim Cook is like, I want 100% victory, but they may only get to 95% with this particular thing, especially because I want to say, when we were talking about this before, there was another company coming for Apple under the same premise as well. I can't remember it. It's been a while ago, but it's one of those things where you kind of have to, unfortunately, grow with the technology, and let people make those decisions. And if the decision isn't the best for them, then they'll fix it and come back. Or if it's good going out to wherever they're going, then they'll keep doing that. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. That is going to wrap up the lowdown, where we talk all things Apple.